Ariel Helwani post-fight at UFC 139 alongside UFC President Dana White after one of the greatest nights in UFC history. And Dana, you said after the fight that it was one of the best fights ever, the main event. Is it possible that this may be the best fight ever in UFC history?
It could be, yeah. It could be the best fight ever in MMA. I said top 3 to give myself some leeway in case you guys popped up with, hey, what about this fight? Because there's just been so many great fights in this sport. And but tonight, man, 5 rounds, nonstop war. I didn't think Shogun was going to make it out of the first round. Not only does he ends up dropping Henderson in the first round. Just a back and forth war. I have so much respect for both these guys. It's unbelievable. You know, me and Henderson go back a long way, and we bust each other's balls a lot. But man, I'll tell you what an amazing human being that guy is, and for Shogun to take the punishment he took tonight and keep coming, and then finish the fight with the most dominant round of the fight.
I know, obviously, you said that they both went to the hospital, but did you have a chance to talk to either guy after the fight?
Only up in the ring when I went up into the octagon and talked to him, and I just told him it's the best fight I've ever seen, and that was it. And they were both exhausted. I don't even know if they saw me, heard me, or whatever, but that was it.
Do you have any word as to how injured they are? Broken hands, broken orbital bone, Shogun? Any idea?
I don't know anything yet. No, it's 2. I mean, we just finished the press conference.
What's going through your mind when you're watching that? Because obviously the fans, everyone's tweeting greatest fight ever, but as the president, the owner of the company, what's going through your mind when you're watching this?
Well, same thing. I mean, it was the greatest fight I've ever seen. Not only that, I have to commend the whole card. I mean, from tonight on the Spike fights, which is normally 2 fights, I think we aired 5 fights. That's how great all these fights were. There were so many finishes and so many great outcomes. I gave 2 fight of the night bonuses tonight to Vanderlei and Kung Lee, and obviously to Dan Henderson and Shogun Rua. It was just knockout of the night went to Uriah Faber. It was an awesome night.
In the third round,
submission of the night, right? You got submission of the night, and it was a great night.
In the third round, it looked like Shogun was in a lot of trouble, and some could say that the fight should have been stopped. Do you think it was the right call to let the fight continue?
Again, I don't remember. I don't remember that third round that you guys were asking me about. During the fight, I don't remember it.
What do you think Dan Henderson will do next? Do you think he'll stay at 205 or go down to 185 and try to challenge for the title?
Well, from what I'm hearing, what I've heard from the media guys is him saying that he wants to stay at 205. Whatever. I mean, whatever he wants to do. We'll see.
Rashad Evans was the number 1 contender, and then obviously he wasn't healthy enough to fight John Jones.
Well, Rashad still is the number 1 contender.
But you said after that he will have to take a fight in the interim. Will he fight Dan Henderson to determine who is the number 1 contender?
He doesn't have to take a fight. He wants to take a fight. He wants to fight, so he wants to stay active. You saw what happened to him when he sat out and waited last time. He wants to take a fight, but he is the number 1 contender.
Is that a fight that you'd like to make? Is that a fight that makes sense in your opinion?
I just don't think it could happen soon enough. I mean, Henderson's coming off this war. God knows how long it's going to take Henderson to recover from this fight. He's one of the toughest guys that I've ever met. But after tonight, I don't know. I'm sure he's going to take some time off.
On the flip side, Rampage was campaigning to fight Shogun in Japan. I know it's very fresh. We don't know how injured he is. But is that a fight that you'd like to make in Japan, considering their history over there?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long it takes Shogun to recover for tonight. I was kind of waiting to see how tonight went to make some decisions on what's coming up in the future. And, it went my way 100%, but didn't go my way in that there's guys coming out of tonight that are going to need some time off.
Now, be honest, when you're watching this main event, at any point did you say, if this was on Fox last week, we would kill it?
No.
Not once?
No, not once. Fox actually said the opposite. I was like, could you imagine if this fight was on Fox last week? We in the MMA world live in this little bubble. And you guys have no clue. You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes and what we battle behind the scenes. And if that fight was on broadcast television the other night, you'd have had people coming out and saying, get this off the air and all this kind of crap. We're going to have to ease our way onto network television.
But that's who you are. That's what the sport is. That's what makes it so great. So why would it be a bad thing?
No doubt about it. It's not that it's a bad thing, but it's not the first fight to go on. We need to educate. There's been a process over the last 10 years of education with the mainstream. We've pulled in a lot of mainstream people over the last 6 years through television. And what you don't want to do is go bursting onto television with our testosterone-filled, in-your-face sport. And you have to ease your way on. What's going to happen is over the next couple of years, there's a whole generation of people that already grew up with the UFC on TV. And there's going to be a whole nother generation and a lot more of them growing up, with the UFC on broadcast television. And we will win this long, hard-fought battle in the long run, but it has to be done the right way.
You obviously loved the co-main event because you gave them the Fight of the Night award as well. Are you surprised that Vanderlei was able to regroup and come back and win that fight after the first round?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he got hit with some big shots. He was getting hit with big kicks. I mean, the welts that were on his body from Kung Lee's kicks it was insane. And they fought a great fight tonight too. Again, I said at the press conference, two of the nicest guys in the sport. I mean, you couldn't meet nicer people than Vanderlei and Kung Lee. And they had an awesome fight tonight. And it was an honor to pay all these guys the money, and believe me when I tell you, we're not done bonusing for this fight. This was a incredible night. The thing that was killing me, I forgot to talk to everybody about this at the press conference. How about the booing? Dude, I thought that this market up here was an educated market, and these guys all got MMA. How could you boo anything tonight? It was insane. It was crazy. And guys were booing during the Campman Story fight. And I tweeted, you should be beat with a stick if you booed during this fight.
Also during the Bonner fight, the Kingsbury fight, when he was doing a lot of great work on the ground.
Right. I mean, Bonner was like going, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I yelled up to him. I said, "Dude, it wasn't that bad. It's not like that was a horrible fight. It was a good fight."
Do you think Kung Lee will come back?
I don't know. We'll see. He's up there. His dream was to fight in the UFC. He got to fight in the UFC and fight Vanderlei Silva. You think about it. Kung Lee is one of these guys who comes from traditional martial arts. What this guy has accomplished in transitioning from traditional martial arts into MMA is pretty damn amazing. I have so much respect for that guy as a fighter and as a human being.
You said after the event that Faber was the #1 contender to fight Dominic Cruz, and then you smiled when Faber suggested that he wanted to coach Tough. Is that what you're thinking for those two?
I don't know. It's not a bad idea. We'll see.
When does, because obviously now it's going to be live. So in the past it would air in March, but you would tape in January. Does that mean it's going to kick off in March and they would have to wait?
Start in March and air right through, yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
I don't know. I'm thinking a lot of things, but that's one of them.
Because maybe the exposure for those guys, that's what they need at this point, because for most of their careers they fought in WEC.
Yeah, the exposure is great for all the guys. I mean, even a guy like John Jones, who's fought in the UFC his whole career, exposure on any of those networks is awesome for him too. It's great for all the guys. And, I don't get into this that the lighter weight guys can't headline cards and can't do this, and it's all bull. That's what they said back in 2002 with Pulver and BJ Penn. BJ Penn turned out to be a huge star in MMA.
Anyone else in particular that really stood out? You had a great performance by Chris Weidman, Michael McDonald, Ryan Bader came back and looked fantastic. Anyone else in particular that you were really impressed with?
Everybody that you said. I was happy with the whole card tonight. The entire card was great. I mean, from the Facebook prelims, we ended up putting like 5 of them. Did we do 5? 5. We did 5 on Spike, and then the main card. We usually have this thing where it usually goes if the prelims are out of sight and knock it out of the park, the main card might be a little lackluster, like the prelims outshine or if the prelims are lackluster, the main card tonight from top to bottom. It was just an awesome night, and I thank all the guys who fought on tonight's card, and I have nothing but respect for all of them. It was awesome.
Have you noticed that every time anyone complains, when there's this sort of general consensus that the card is not getting buzz or it's not good, that this always seems to happen? Yeah. Is it because you tell them before the fights that maybe try to up the ante here? I mean, how does this always happen?
I don't know. It just does. It's funny. But, yeah, people will talk. I mean, I don't know how you would think this was a lackluster card. This is one of the most stacked cards of the year. I mean, talent from the main event all the way down to the first prelim. I mean, this thing was stocked full of talent. This had all the makings of being a great card. And if you look at this year that we've had with 10, there's been 10 main events that have fallen out, meaning one of the guys have gotten injured and we put a replacement in. If you look at the streak of great fights that we've had this year, it's been a phenomenal year for mixed martial arts.
Finally, we talked on Thursday about the second Fox show. You said you were going to tell us at some point what the main event was. Are you ready now to share that news?
Yeah, I'm going. Actually, I'm flying home right now, and then I'm going to LA on Monday. On Monday, I have a meeting with David Hill and Eric Shanks at Fox, and after I make this, after I get this thing dialed in, I'll let you guys know.
So you have to sort of present it to them, see if they're okay with it, and then.
No, I mean, they're my partners. I got to let them know before I go announcing it, anywhere else. So no, I'm going to sit down and talk to those guys and let them know what's going on and what I'm thinking, and then I'll let you guys know.
Do you want to bounce any ideas off me? Maybe I'll let you know if you're on the right path.
Yeah, I'll give you a call.
Okay.
Answer my call.
And I forgot to ask you on Thursday, and I feel like I don't want to ruin your night. You had a great night, but your good friend Bob Arum said that you were buried last week. That the Pacquiao fight did a lot better and it didn't go your way. Did you hear that, and did that bother you at all?
I did, and it did not. I mean, it just goes to show what an absolute buffoon this guy is, Yeah, we got buried. Look at the numbers. How did we get buried? And they went out and pulled a good number. They from what I'm hearing, they did like 1.3, 1.4 million pay-per-view buys, and that's huge. I love Pacquiao. I'm glad that guy made a bunch of money. It just, unfortunately, the buffoon has to make some money too when Pacquiao does. I'm happy for boxing. Good for them. I think it was a great night. It just goes with what I always say. It was a great night for combat sports in general. Not just a great night for the UFC. It was a great night for boxing, and it was a great night for Pacquiao too, to do those kind of numbers.
Well, congrats on a historic night. Thank you for the time, and we look forward. Tough finale. We get a bit of a break here. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're feeling better, and I think I'm done.
Thanks, brother.